My God, I hate drugs.
Chief Superintendent Guillermo Eleazar now leads the Metro Manila Police Office. He replaces Director Camilo Cascolan, who was removed from his post in a major shakeup in the PNP. What are Eleazar's plans to secure Metro Manila? And is he being groomed to become the next PNP chief? Our correspondent Rex Remitio has that report.
Outgoing Metro Manila Police Chief Camilo Cascolan has yet to formally turn over his command to his successor Guillermo Eleazar. But the Southern Tagalog Police Chief has already relinquished his duties to outgoing Cordillera Police Director Edwin Carranza.
Kung tutuusin, ito sana yung Unit being Regional Director ang gusto kong pinakamatagal na aking paglilingkod sa aking bayan. Subalit lumalabas na sa lahat ng aking assignment, ito ang pinakamaikli. 42 days only.
Eleazar will now watch over the country's most developed, crowded and crime-ridden region. His first order of the day, intensify police campaigns against illegal drugs. This will be complemented by level-up counterintelligence and internal cleansing operations. When he was asked whether his war on drugs will be more violent than his predecessors, here's his answer.
Alam mo, hindi natin kagustuhan na mayroong masaktan o mayroong mamatay sa ating police operation. But ang police ay mag-react depende sa sitwasyon. Pag dumating sitwasyon na nagkaroon ng putukan at mayroong mga nag-resist, hindi pwedeng ang ating mga kapulisan naman hayaan nila sila madisgrasya.
He will also order a review of the illegal drug trading case of actress Krista Miller, who was acquitted and freed last week. Eleazar pursued her arrest when he was still Quezon City Police Chief in October 2016. He says they will exhaust all possible legal options as they have overwhelming evidence of her guilt.
Hindi namang ibig sabihin na dinismiss yung kaso or pinalaya siya. Ibig sabihin doon is hindi nangyari yung kaso, di ba?
The new Calabarzon Police Chief Carranza, meanwhile, will prioritize looking after criminal gangs in Laguna, Cavite, and Rizal.
I'm strict, but I can always be approached. I'm strict to those who will not be doing their job.
He will also deal with the communist group in the country's largest region in terms of land area and population. Both surprised with their new positions, Carranza and Eleazar are just among the 27 police officers who were part of the big-time reshuffling in the PNP leadership. Eleazar believes Cascolan's transfer to the PNP Civil Security Group is not a demotion. The NCRPO chief, a coveted position, is seen as a springboard for a police officer to become a PNP chief, but Eleazar says it's out of his control. Eleazar enjoys a close relationship with PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde, who was also the NCRPO chief before Cascolan. Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
The reshuffling is part of the PNP chief's promise to bring to Camp Crame his stern style of leadership. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde earlier said he wanted to reorganize officials based on merit and not connections. The PNP also explains the shakeup is due to the retirement of some officers and based on the performance assessment of an oversight committee.
Ito yung naging result ng assessment and evaluation of the members of the Oversight Committee as announced by the Chief PNP during his assumption. They have determined na magkaroon ng reshuffling dito sa ngayon. Dahil sabi naman nila na para lang magkaroon ng well-rounded career pattern ng ating mga senior police officers.
Bulalakaw himself was reassigned. He will be the OIC of PNP Region 6 in Western Visayas. Replacing him as PNP spokesperson is Senior Superintendent Benigno Durana Jr. The PNP says another round of movements may happen soon, this time among provincial directors. The controversy over government contracts bagged by Solicitor General Jose Calida's security agency has yet to die down, and now his office is defending itself after a Commission on Audit report showed that some of its officials, including Calida, supposedly received excessive honoraria and allowances in 2017, amounting to over 10.77 million pesos. Calida and 14 of his subordinates reportedly received allowances more than the allowed 50% of their annual salary. The COA says Calida received 7.46 million pesos. That's 8 times more than allowed. Aside from this, the COA says some OSG personnel had excessive claims on hotel accommodations and expenses for their local and foreign travels. But in a statement, the OSG says the COA report has no basis. It cites provisions authorizing its lawyers to receive allowances without limitation of the amount and number of agreements. The OSG also points out the provisions override a circular that the COA based its report on. Former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay agrees with the OSG that allowances for their lawyers can exceed 50% of their salaries. Hilbay claims a law that strengthens the office clearly allows honoraria and allowances from client departments, among others, adding that, quote, allowances will help the government retain good lawyers, unquote. After meeting with a top North Korean official in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump says his June 12th summit with Kim Jong-un is back on. But as Brian Todd tells us, while Trump is praising the North Korean leader, he appears to be ignoring much of Kim's history.
Kim Jong-un is on a roll. One of his top lieutenants, a man believed to have a lot of South Korean blood on his hands and who led a major cyber attack on the U.S., met in the Oval Office today with President Trump and, in a remarkable moment, got a handshake from the president.
This is an amazing turnaround in events.
All the more amazing considering that less than 6 months ago, this violent, impulsive dictator was considered an international pariah.
At the end of 2017, Kim Jong-un was a leader who hadn't even met the president of China and was very reclusive, much like his grandfather and his father, and really lived up to the moniker leader of a hermit kingdom.
At that time, CNN was even told plans were being drawn up for a possible U.S. military strike. Then came Kim's New Year's Day speech, expressing his desire to soften relations with his enemies. The so-called Olympic thaw, with his sister Kim Yo-jong extending a warm hand to South Korean President Moon Jae-in. 2 meetings between Kim and Moon, including the optics of a groundbreaking summit, even holding hands, and the announcement of a planned summit with President Trump.
We'll be meeting on June 12th in Singapore. It went very well.
There were 2 meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping, along with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And now the Russians want in, arranging their own meeting with Vladimir Putin. A crucial question tonight: what made Kim change?
The maximum pressure campaign. The sanctions regime against North Korea has taken a serious bite out of the regime. Kim Jong-un has been quite desperate.
Most important, he now has the weapons. He has the weapons and he has the delivery system. So he feels more confident.
Fueling Kim's confidence, the fact that the U.S., South Korea, and China have been willing to look past his egregious human rights violations.
We did not talk about human rights.
You're talking about 5 to 6 political prison camps, 120,000 men, women, and children held in political prison camps pursuant to a system of guilt by association, induced malnutrition, torture, public executions, secret executions. You're talking about a regime that's investing heavily in its tools of death.
A record that a veteran diplomat says Trump and his allies might have to look past to reach the ultimate objective.
If we are to lower the agenda to include denuclearization, human rights, and we'll have to include Japanese abductees will be another example, biochem weapons, conventional weapons. It does get overcrowded. So I don't blame them for prioritizing denuclearization and security at the highest.
After repeated price hikes, oil companies announce a rollback in fuel prices effective tomorrow, June 3. Petron says it will cut gasoline prices by 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter and diesel by 90 centavos per liter. Kerosene will go down by 1 peso per liter by 6 a.m. tomorrow. Same price rollbacks for PTT and sea oil. The companies say this reflects adjustments in the international oil market. The world celebrates Pride Month this June. Here in the country, celebrities are taking the lead to help create more awareness and acceptance for the LGBT community. Motoring enthusiast Angie King and her wife, model TV host Joey Mead King, are putting a fresh face to their advocacy. The celebrity couple has launched a makeup line in time for Pride Month. Speaking to CNN Philippines, they believe Filipinos are ready to move forward to become more accepting of the LGBT community.
We wanted to launch this campaign in hopes to create awareness for our cause, which is LGBTQIA awareness. It's being inclusive, getting everyone on board, and not discriminating based on gender expressions.
But we wanted to make sure that our lip line was a dual, because we wanted for everyone to express your own duality, open up your diversity.
You can order online beginning June 6th.